Good morning. This is Steve, and you're looking at the TOLUS Airbus A319. This is number 9 in my series, My Hangar, and we're starting to shift now into passenger aircraft. The A319, or Airbus 319, is made by Airbus in Europe. You can go over to Europe and pick one up for somewhere between $50 to $100 million. Expensive deal, these commercial aircraft. They really get up there. And this is a small one in relative terms. Whoops, there goes the back platform or baggage area, I guess that is. The airplane's got a mind of its own. We are sitting here at KSBD, which is San Bernardino, or as my friend Brad likes to call it, San Bernie, or something along that line. So I'm not sure that's it. He's got a phrase for it that locals use, but I can't recall exactly what it is. But it's a beautiful place, and we're going to have a very interesting takeoff here. We're going to go up to KFAT, which is Fresno, up near Yosemite. In fact, it's called Yosemite Airport, I think. And it's a short flight, but it's a very interesting one, particularly the takeoff on runway 6, which is what we're going to do. So let's get inside, take a look at this aircraft from the inside. Some of you may have seen this before on my videos. I made a video flying this airplane before, but this is going to be a quickie. I don't want to stretch this out. This is just a My Hangar video, so I'm going to try and see if we can do this within about a half an hour. So therefore I'm going to be fading in and out as we go along here, including setting up the airplane and setting up the FMC, or MCDU as they call it in the Airbuses. So the first thing we need to do is put on some power. Have a nice view of our Spirit aircraft taxiing along the line. Right now I'm steering using the rudder paddles that I have on my yoke, which gives you kind of a little more subtle way of steering. Using the lever, it's pretty abrupt. So slow up here. And, whoops, see what I mean? Yeah, it's really tricky. All right, let's pull up here to the stop line. Park brakes on. And let's see, we've got the transponder. We can turn that on to TA. Everything else is set down here. We can do a takeoff config. Well, a couple of things we have to do for that. If you look here on the somewhere there on the ND, it probably says, yeah, if we zoom in here, you see we got some checklist items. Auto brakes on max. That's done. Cabin check. One thing we need to do for that is press one of these buttons. Come back down and cabin check is now okay. Spoilers need to be armed. And takeoff config, and that's this button right down here. And that's checked. We've got park brake on, cabin is ready. So that looks good. And we've got our altitude set. None of these need to be set. There's our route behind us there. And everything else seems to be fine. So let's let the park brake go and taxi on out to the runway and take off. And the takeoff, this ascent that we're going to do is going to be fun. I'll show you why in a few minutes. One of the reasons I include this plane, there are a lot of reasons I include this plane in my hangar. One of them is because it's a 319, and therefore it's small and great for short runs, a few hundred miles, which is the kind of thing you'd like to do in X-plane, so you're not sitting there for 6 hours across the country. And it's got a lot of neat features in it. It's a study aircraft, so it's fairly complex to learn all the systems. All right, so we're going to ramp this up to the toga position, which is right there. And again, I'll use my rudder paddles to do subtle steering of the aircraft and keep us right on the center line. Now, we don't have an annunciator tell us when we're at V2, so we just kind of have to keep an eye on that speed mark, and it looks like there we go. So we'll just pull back the yoke, up we go, and let's raise the gear. I'll just check on that, make sure our gear is up, and it is. All right. Do a little bank over here. We're up past 160, so we can bring one of our flap notches in. And you can see we're coming around to the root. Master caution, air pack off. Ah, okay. My bad. Turn that back on. Thank you. All right, let's level out here a little bit. And we can turn on the autopilot. That'll take us over to the root line. Interesting, I forgot the packs. I normally don't do that. So we've got a blinking throttle indicator. We're going to back that off to throttle climb. Now our speed is increasing up to 200 knots. We're above the S line, so we can bring in the last notch of the flaps. And the speed will increase up to 250. And you can see what's ahead of us, which makes this kind of an interesting departure. These are the mountains just to the east of San Bernardino. I'm not sure exactly what they're called. Brad would probably know. But it's a terrific, terrific route. Because you get some nice views from up here. So we're going to make a left turn right up here at the top. A lot of traffic up here on that twisty mountain road. Beautiful area to live, unless there's a forest fire. Unfortunately, a lot of people are suffering from that these days in California. I hope their problems with that are soon over. Any of you are in that vicinity in California, you have my sympathies. It's no fun. So now we're going to head up to the range a little bit, go through some clouds, and be on our way. So I will be back to you in a while. Okay, back again. Well, we're just about to pass TD, or TC rather, top of climb, 27,000. and you'll see the airplane will level out. I'm not sure what you call this on the PFD. The speed indicator goes to the Mach mode, and we're starting to make our turn to the north, leaving the mountains behind. And so now the first thing I want to do is to adjust our altitude setting to our descent altitude. That's going to be 1800. I have to click right in here and get that little double-sided arrow, and then we can click that down in 100 increments to 18. And the next thing I'll do is I'll take a look at our MCDU, and first I'll go to the performance page, and we want to go to the page where we set our approach data. And in order to do this, I'm going to call up our handy TISCS, or TOLUS Interactive Simulation Control System, and we'll go to aircraft configuration, and it tells us some information about KFAT, amongst which is the QNH, which is 30.11. So we can type that in, 30.11, and put it in there. Temperature is 17. Put that in there, and the wind is 262 at 30, which is interesting because when I looked at it before, it was 0. But we'll go with what they've got here. It's 0 degrees. Oh, I see. Whoops, I think I typed that wrong. 262 at 30. Yeah, let's fix that one. There, that destination data. Where am I, Steve? Let's see. 262-30. A little stronger winds than 0. Okay, so that's done. Now we can look at progress, and if we go to report, what we can do is handle the winds there, and we want to find the waypoint just after TD. I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrong thing here. I want to go to flight plan and go to ring and go to the right-hand key at ring and look for wind data, and it shows an asterisk next to requests, so we click that and we pick the highest wind, which is 275 at 30 at 180 altitude. So 275, 30, and we go here and type that in, I believe, 275/30, and put it in there and go return twice. Now we can go to progress, and not sure, maybe it's, let's see, I'm looking at my notes here. Flight plan, wind data, wind request, ALT, auto brakes, landing, progress, report. Ah, that's what I didn't see. We need to go to report, and it tells us that the top of descent, let's see, performance, enter METAR, I see it's on the big page right now. Yeah, we've already done all that. Wait a minute. Report. I'm looking at notes here, so hang on just a minute and let me get this figured out, and I will be right back to you. Oh, here it is. Top of descent distance is 6 miles. So at 5 miles, we can go ahead and implement TD. That's what this page is trying to tell us. We've already set our approach data, so that's all set. We've set our winds for descent, and that's done. We're now 4.4 miles. We can make this screen go away, and we can click on here to initiate our descent. That's what I was trying to figure out. Sorry about all of that. It gets confusing. This is a complicated system. A lot of things you need to know. And of course, it's a short run here, so everything happens at once. If we were going, from LA to Chicago or something, things would be a little more gradual. But interesting. Continuing our descent here in the Foggy Valley. Over all the fields, meadows of Central Valley farmland. And we should be seeing some indication of the ILS system pretty soon. Settled in at our descent altitude of 1,800 feet. So we're just kind of leveling out now. A little too hazy to see anything at the moment. Okay, looks like our glide slope indicator is descending as we approach Story, just as the chart predicted. And we now have glide slope. But you can see we're descending. I was just looking to see if we spotted any landing lights yet. Nothing yet, but we will shortly. Flaps full, gear down.
400.
And auto throttle off.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard, 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 retard.
All right.
4,000 feet remaining. 3,000 remaining.
That's just the autopilot system. Oops. Turn off over here. That was one of the smoothest landings I've ever done. Hard to tell if the plane was even on the ground. All right, stop here and clean things up. Pull it in here. We're looking for that arrow under the T to guide us right up the stem of the T. All right. That's the trouble with my brake system. It's very arbitrary. I think that's, yeah, it put on the park brakes. Not supposed to do that. There we go. Now I can put on the park brakes. Okay, so we'll put on the APU, turn off the taxi lights, strobe can go off, beacon off, nav logo off, and let's see. When we get our APU up and running, we can turn on the APU bleed. What we can do also is let people out of their seats. And we should get automatic door opening. Let's just see if that's happening yet. Nope. All right, I think what we need to do in order to make that happen is to turn the engines off. So we'll go down here and do that. And we see the auto gate come forward. I don't see the door opening just yet, but it should. Well, nothing yet. So I guess we've got to go to our ground services and open the doors. Cargo. Open. Open. There they go. And now our passengers can get out. And we can come back up here and turn on the APU bleed. And turn the engine bleed off. And that's about it. We'll leave the things running. The engines are now shut down, but leave the systems running. Let people deplane, and we'll let you deplane. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was kind of an interesting flight. A few glitches and goofs here and there, as always. But that's the Airbus A319, as translated by a company called Toliss. T-O-L-I-S-S. It's a beautiful aircraft. It's got lots of neat systems in it. It's a little more complicated, say, than the JAR A320. Maybe it's kind of in competition with the Flight Factor 320. I do not have that. I opted for this instead. One of the wonderful features of this aircraft that I'll show you is over here under Position Situations. You can save situations and recreate them just by clicking on them. You can also set up auto saving, and I've got it on set to 3-minute intervals. So if, as often happens in X-Plane, if you're flying along and X-Plane crashes, you don't have to despair. You can go ahead and restart right where you were by implementing auto saving. It's a very handy feature. What I've done is also save my flight route in that area, so I can restore my flight route without having to enter all the waypoints and so forth. So it's a neat system. This is why it's in my favorites in my hangar, and I hope you enjoy it too. Been great having you along today. I'll see you soon with number 10. This is Steve. Have a good day.